Hello everyone and welcome to this, the latest episode of Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and welcome to another instalment of Friday Freebie. And today you're in luck. I've got 6 fantastic classic works of adventure for you to download to start your August of adventures. If you're not joining us in the readings that Shawn, Standfast and myself are doing during the month of August, that being Treasure Island, The Lost World, Tarzan of the Apes, and King Solomon's Mines, with possibly Robinson Crusoe if we have time, and you want some alternative and you want to take part and you don't want to spend any money, then if you have an e-reader, a mobile phone or a tablet, you can download copies of these books for free from sites like the Project Gutenberg, and the links of course will be down below. So what is the first book I'm going to mention? The first book is from 1857 and it's The Coral Island by R.M. Ballantyne. And it follows the story of 15-year-old boys, Ralph, Peterkin and Jack, who are shipwrecked on a coral reef with only a telescope and a pocket knife, which happens to be broken. Of course, initially, like it always is in these things, the island seems like a perfect paradise as it has various types of food, it has fantastic natural wonders, but then of course things start to change for the worse as a group of cannibals arrive, and then after that a pirate ship is spotted. So what is going to become of these 3 teenage boys? Well, of course, in order to find out, you'll have to download the book below and read it in August for August of Adventures. Next up, we have another classic. It's the first of 2 books I'm offering you today from the fantastic French writer of adventure, Jules Verne, and it's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And this follows the story of 3 intrepid adventurers, Pierre Aronnax, his assistant Conseil, and Canadian whaler or harpooner Ned Land. They become involved in the hunt for an unidentified monster. It turns out, of course, the monster is not a monster at all. It is a futuristic submarine captained by the very mysterious Captain Nemo, and they end up being taken prisoner by him and spending time on the submarine, the Nautilus, and they travel 20,000 leagues under the sea. So it's around 50,000 miles or so under the sea. And they, of course, have many adventures. They come across underwater forests, the ruins of Atlantis, sea monsters, all kinds of things. And it's a fantastic book. It was published in 1870. And if you want to join in that particular adventure, as I say, if you haven't got a hard copy of it, but you'd like to, the link is down below. Help yourselves. Next up, we have another Jules Verne, which is the Journey to the Center of the Earth. And this follows geology professor who happens upon an old manuscript from the 16th century, which claims to have found a route all the way through to the Earth's core. The professor, of course, cannot resist the opportunity to investigate, so he launches an expedition with his nephew, and and of course they go through an extinct volcano, and they see an amazing kind of subterranean world with all sorts of wonders and fascinating sights to be beheld. It's a great book, of course. Jules Verne books usually are. They're sometimes, unfortunately, let down by their translation, but I think you could enjoy it. So again, the link is below if it should take your fancy. Our next freebie is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, and it's a very short book, so if you're running out of time or you have a lot on but you still want to read something adventurous, it's the perfect one for you. And it is following the adventures of the time traveler who moves almost 1 million years beyond his own year. I think it's about 800,000 years, and it was H.G. Wells' first kind of big selling book, and kind of gave him that reputation of the father or maybe grandfather of science fiction. And there's not so much to tell. It is literally about a time machine and a man who travels forward in time. He ends up on an Earth that is unrecognizable with 2 kind of separately evolved types of human, and all sorts of adventures ensue. So once again, link is below. Should you fancy it, help yourselves. Next up, we have She, A History of Adventure by Henry Rider Haggard, who is, of course, one of the authors we're reading this month in the form of King Solomon's Mines. But if you've read that and you want to read something else by him, then you can read, well, to be honest, these authors have loads of books, of course, available in the public domain. So, you don't have to just read this one, but this is the one I'm highlighting. It follows the story of Leo Vinci, who on his 25th birthday opens the silver casket that was left to him, and in it there is a letter that talks about this legend of a white sorceress who is ruling over this African tribe. She's, centuries old apparently. He and some of his companions decide to set sail and find out some information about her. And once again, all sorts of amazing adventures are to be had, and really is a fantastic adventure novel. And again, it is below for your consideration should you wish to download it. I feel like I'm doing some kind of long advertisement here, but obviously I'm not getting any money for this. So these books are free, and I'm just giving you the links should you wish to download them and join in, because I understand we can't always be buying new books every time we want to take part in these read-alongs. So just to let you know, of course, that in this instance money is no object because you don't have to spend any. So, and the last one is also by another author we're reading. So we're reading Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, but as an alternative you could read Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson, which follows the story of David Balfour, who's tricked by an evil uncle who wants to steal his inheritance and has him kidnapped and sent to America, although things don't really work out that way, and David ends up being rescued by a fugitive Jacobite, Alan Breck Stewart, who is a very interesting character as well. And then, of course, what ensues? Well, tons of adventure as David seeks to, do one over on his uncle, so to speak, for putting him in that situation. And once again, it is below, should you wish to download it. And I invite any of you watching this who also have some beloved classics of adventure that you would like to recommend to people, recommend them in the comments. I mean, maybe I haven't read them, and certainly maybe some of my subscribers and other commenters haven't read it either. So please, by all means, feel free to suggest away should you have any suggestions for some classics that can be downloaded for free and read during the month of August of adventures. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you very soon. Do take care. Bye for now.